Sorry, the monsters, they're acting really weird.
Huh, how curious.
Yes, it's specifically the Curios.
Well, curiosity killed the cat.
Actually, there is an afflicted Nagakuga who is alive.
Oh, I should write that down.
You mean now? Or?
No, I'll do it later.
All right then.
Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, as more and more people reach the proper endgame hunting of the Sunbreak expansion, we're all finding one thing. These monsters are capable of kicking your ass, and if you just kill them normally, you'll get maybe 2 or 3 of their respective afflicted parts per hunt. That isn't a terrible reward, but if you want to make rarity 10 weapons or some of the bigger, better decorations in the game, you will need a good chunk more than that. Of course, you can just go the standard way, slowly build up the materials one hunt at a time, or you could work out the most effective ways to get each individual part in order to make your goals as simple as possible and as quick as possible. Today is all about those effective ways to success, so let's talk everything there is to know about afflicted monster parts. First and foremost, these parts can drop in one of 3 ways. One, just as quest rewards. This will always happen, and you will get 2 or 3 from that depending on your pure luck. Number 2, from carving the monster. Each carve of an afflicted monster has a 20% chance to be their specific afflicted part. And then finally, part breaks. Every part break on an afflicted monster has a 20% chance to reward another afflicted material. In other words, if you want the most possible chances at afflicted parts per hunt, you need to break every single part of a monster. You need to get as many carves as possible, and you need to find a way to get more than the average number of quest rewards as well. Most of this is RNG, it's luck at the end of the day. All of it is based on percentages that you have no control over, but there are of course ways to tip those percentages in your favor by adding extra chances.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Let's start then with the easiest ways to augment this and end with the stranger and more difficult. First up is quite simply the Part Breaker skill. This skill increases the amount of monster part damage you do with every swing, which doesn't actually show a higher number because it doesn't do more damage to the monster's health, it simply makes your hits do a larger percentage of the individual monster part's health, making it easier to break the monster part. With full Part Breaker, monster parts are 30% easier to break, and so with this combined with a mentality to break every monster part possible, you will simply be able to break 30% more parts than you would without the skill. With each part break giving you a 20% chance at an afflicted part, this will add up to give you a much larger chance at more of these parts in your end screen. Technically speaking, you can do part break runs if you don't feel like killing the whole monster, where you just run in, break 1 or 2 parts as quickly as you possibly can, and then return from the quest. But considering it's only a 20% chance of getting the afflicted material for each part break, it's sort of not worth your time. You might as well just kill the whole thing while breaking every part possible, get your 2 to 3 guaranteed parts, and then have your RNG rolls on top of it, rather than just running in and out for 3 minutes at a time and having to go purely on luck. Aside from that, there is the skill Good Luck. This skill gives you a chance at increased quest rewards, which also affects the drops of afflicted monster parts. Using this skill simply gives you a chance at getting more parts every time you complete the quest, making it an easy addition for our purpose. Past this, we come to food skills, things that you can get from Dontgo options themselves. These are a bit less reliable as they aren't just set Dontgo, meaning that they will only pop up in the rotation occasionally and you have to just catch them when they are there. But first we have the Triple Rose Dontgo for the Dontgo Carver food skill, which simply lets you carve extra times, and each carve is another 20% chance at an afflicted monster part, so this is just pure gain. And then on a similar level to the Good Luck skill, there is a Dontgo called the Very Hap Peanut for the food skill Dontgo Miracle Worker. This often increases the number of reward items received at the end of a quest, and as a result, can wind up giving you even more afflicted monster parts once again.
It's probability and outcome.
Probability and outcome.
Probability and outcome.
Past this, it sort of depends how much you are willing to nerf your armor set, as there is an armor piece in the game with a particularly unique skill that you can only unlock by doing every single base Rise arena quest with each weapon available in each quest, and it is called the Feather of Mastery. This armor piece comes with the Carving Master skill, which quite simply lets you carve 1 additional time at the end of a quest. If you are truly willing to give up your entire head armor slot and use a high rank armor piece, then you can use this for 1 additional 20% chance at an an afflicted part per hunt. Though it is worth mentioning at this point, you are probably giving up enough skill space that your kill time will slow down, and it may not even be worth using at all as a result. However, this is a video about the amount of different ways that you can increase your afflicted part generation, so it obviously had to be mentioned. That then is all of the ways to increase individual afflicted part gain per quest, but then comes the question, what is the easiest way to farm each of the parts? Generally speaking, different monsters will be easier for different people, but I can make it relatively easy for you by saying which monsters will give which part. Then you personally work out which of these monsters you have the easiest time against, and go for that one when hunting down that specific afflicted part. Sound good? Well, the afflicted bone material comes from Arzuros, Volvidon, and Lagombi. The afflicted pelt material comes from Great Azuchi, Great Baggy, Great Ragi, and Kulu Yaku. The afflicted blood material comes from Tetranodon, Daimyo Hermitar, Bishaten, and Kezu. The afflicted monster bone material comes from Aknasom, Royal Ludroth, Baroth, and Bessarios. The afflicted shell material comes from Blood Orange Bishaten, Somnicanth, Juratotus, and Shogun Cenotar. The afflicted scale material comes from Tobi Kadachi, Rathian, Anjanath, and Pookie Pookie. The afflicted claw material comes from Aurora Somnicanth, Gosharag, Rachnikadaki, and Almadron. And then finally, the afflicted fang material comes from Garangolm, Magnamalo, Nargacuga, and Barioth. And so when looking for each of these individual materials, you should have a general idea which creature is in each category that you have the easiest time against. Hunt that specific one and have the easiest time generating the afflicted part in question. Generally speaking, afflicted monsters of the same level will have the same health pool, so it really just comes down to which movesets you are the most comfortable with, and which hit zones you have the easiest time hitting. Keep in mind that part breaks are still a factor, so if you're using a blunt weapon, you may want to target a monster with tails that break instead of sever, or even a crab where you can beat up the shell instead. However, the easiest way to achieve the part breaks of this is simply to hunt with other hunters. The more hunters you have, the more varied damage types you are likely to have, and thus people will already be focusing different parts of the monster by default. On top of this, if you follow the specifically afflicted parts that glow during the hunt, you will more often than not work your way through the entire body of the monster anyways. So just beat up the glowing parts, aim to break them when you are attacking them, and then by the end of the hunt, you should have acquired the highest chances possible of getting the most afflicted parts from your specific target. I hope this helps ease the grind for all of you out there. After all, there is a lot to be gained from this system, but it's also one that can take a lot of time to fully master. The afflicted monsters tend to hit like a truck and have a massive amount of health, so just do your best and enjoy this extra difficulty level of hunting that people were sorely missing in base Monster Hunter Rise. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.